Meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we have the roll call, I want to have a moment of silence for Dr. Michael Gomez, who was a member of this board and also the president, an outstanding leader in the community who made many major and significant contributions, not only to the school district, the city of Douglas, but the community at large. So I'd like to have a moment of silence for him. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Salcha?
Here.
Mr. Lindemann?
Here.
Mr. Ramos?
Here.
Mr. Berry?
Here. Item 1D, board meeting minutes not previously approved. D1, Mr. Lindemann.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item E, information only items. Number 1, summary of current events. Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, good evening, Mr. President, board members, and members of our staff and community. Our fall sports season is well underway with practices and games soon to start, so we encourage our community to attend our games this season. Tonight, Clausen is having their family night, and so Mrs. Herrera is not here, but we hope that families attend their family night. We also want to thank all of our families who contributed and participated during our wonderful Halloween festivities, the trunk or treat events. Lots of candy, lots of families got involved, decorated their cars, dressed up, and provided candies to our little ones at the elementaries. We also have our letter grades were officially posted. I sent the governing board an update today. And so our district as a whole is a B. And our B schools are Ferris, Sarah Marley, Douglas High School, Stevenson, and Huber. And our C schools are Clausen, Joe Carlson, and Bray Barain. We are extremely proud of Sarah Marley, who was a D school, and they brought it up to a B. And so we want to congratulate Sarah Marley, the incoming principal, Ms. Suezan Pineda, and the outgoing principal, Mr. Henry Jones. And so, yes. So we have great work ahead of us, continuing on making student growth a priority in our district. And we got to celebrate the small wins that we have at each school site. And that is what I have for today.
Okay, why don't you just go ahead and do your
Okay.
GEM award.
All right. And so this month's GEM award is going out to one of our securities, and it's going out to Joey Rodriguez at Sarah Marley. And Joey Rodriguez has been nominated numerous times, and this month was no exception by many colleagues, and so he's very deserving of the GEM award. They say that they are recommending Joey because he consistently demonstrates positivity, readiness, and dedication in everything he does. He is always alert, active, and takes his responsibilities seriously, ensuring that our school remains a safe and welcoming place. What truly sets him apart is his dependable and supportive attitude. No matter what the situation is, we can always count on him to be there, ready to help, quick to respond, and always showing a positive attitude. His diligence and professionalism makes a big difference in our daily operations, and his presence brings a sense of safety and reassurance to staff, students, and families alike. He is a true gem to our school community, and so I'm a testament to that. I personally have seen he's out there playing kickball with the kids, playing any sport, walking, high-fiving, and in and out of that campus. So for that, we recognize Mr. Joey Rodriguez as our gem.
I truly wouldn't have been able to do anything without Joe. He was just amazing. It's been amazing.
Come up here. He's even got his security gear on. Are you working tonight? All right, so here's our gem. I chose this beautiful green color because you are that brightness at Sarah Marley from the moment we walk in. So Douglas Unified Ms. Gemma Ward for being extraordinary employee and going the extra mile each and every day. So congratulations. Thank you, Joey. Yes, you can sit down. Thank you. He's got a fan of supporters here.
Yeah. Is that all you have?
Yes, uh-huh.
Governing board reports, Mr. Smith.
Nothing.
Ms. Alchow?
None.
Mr. Lindeman?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Ramos?
No, nothing.
Board members, just to point out that I'm sure you've all seen it, all the overrides and the bond elections that passed in the state for schools. That's a good sign. That's an indication that parents still do for kids what they won't do for adults, let's say, in many respects. So that's a good omen for us that down the road, we may be reconsidering something else that we kind of put on the back burner. But overall, with all of the gloom and doom regarding schools, that's a positive note. Moving to, and Sadib, you made it.
Yes.
Great. All right, so let's have your report.
All right. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Samaniego, and members of the public. The activity report for DHS for November is as follows. Fall sports are finishing their seasons, with swim and cross country having representation at the state level. Tryouts for winter sports began on Monday and will conclude on Friday. Competition for these sports starts on November 20th. For football, they performed very well, ranking 27th in the state and 2nd in the region for the second consecutive year, following the promotion to the 4A Keno Conference. Volleyball finished 32nd in the state, 3rd in the region, and had a senior night for all the girls and managers who finished their season. Golf had a great season. One golfer was only half a point away from making it a state. Cross country, there are 4 athletes who are competing at Rio Rico right now for the state qualifier event. Swim has 17 swimmers who will be competing at state this weekend. HOSA and Skills attended leadership conferences in Phoenix as well as Williams. And NHS will be having its induction ceremony on the 13th of November at 7 p.m. and the DHS Young Historians toured some of the historic buildings here in Douglas. We also have DHS seniors visiting Cochise College on November the 14th. The Drama Club visits EAC. The SAT is going to be held on November the 8th. FCCLA is having Fall Leadership Conference on the 6th. HOSA Fall Leadership Conference is today, and FFA had a tour of the Chile Field Day at the Curry Farms. Thank you.
You just got back from a AIA conference, didn't you?
Yes.
You went with Mrs. Trinta. Well, can you bring us up to date on anything there that you thought would be of interest to us? Or
So both Sofia Alvarado and myself were 2 of the members for the AIA student committee, and so we're gonna be hosting a leadership summit, which is completely planned by students, and so both Sofia and myself are going to be leading 2 of the workshops, and so I'm gonna be in charge of the student etiquette, and Sofia's gonna be in charge of the social media aspect of it.
Very good, thank you. Budget report, Mr. Soto.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members. This is the report for the month of October. Again, just to let you know that we still have, remember, we approve a few, we're gonna approve still some vacancies that we have that is gonna take on that balance remaining. Well, first of all, any questions on that report? If not, then I'm gonna touch a little bit on what Mr. President talk about the override. We just had a meeting today, the ASBO monthly meeting, that we're touching on that subject in terms of the optimistic on the voter side. There was quite a few overrides and bonds and district additional assistance overrides. So both of them They were very surprised with the results. There's still a couple still too close to call, but almost 90% of all of those voter-initiated requests have been approved so far. So I mean, again, that's a good thing. That's something like Mr. President said, you know, that it's an optimistic side on the voter side of things. Unfortunately, now on another sad note, we still continue seeing the decrease in enrollment. We're gonna have definitely a budget revision next month to show that decrease and adjust our budget according to that. I know Mrs. Cox is gonna touch about in the actual numbers in enrollment right now, and that's all I have for now.
Members of the board, do you have any specific questions regarding anything, the financial status of the district? Okay, thank you for that. Mrs. Cox?
Good afternoon, Mr. President, board members, community. Our current enrollment is at 3,486. Our ADM, what we're getting funded for, is at 3,315. Last year, we were at 3,401 at this time. We had 23 new enrollments, but unfortunately, we had 39 withdrawals. In terms of HR, we are still looking for, we have 3 vacancies that we're still trying to recruit for, and in certified positions, and then classified positions, we're going to have a couple of classified hires, and we're still looking for a few more. So that's what I have.
Members of the board, questions, comments? Item F, public comments. We have Mr. Adam Brake.
Good evening. First of all, I want you all to know, I respect you for sitting there. I do. It's a hard job, and I don't pretend to know every facet of your jobs. And my motivation, I believe, along with yours, is the success of the district. I have 3 boys who are attending the district. It's important to me that Douglas wins. I want Douglas to win. A few areas of concern that I did want to bring up. First of all, gifted education funding, 2025 compared to 2024, has seen the following change in districts statewide. Flagstaff USD increased their gifted education funding by 1.5%. Mesa USD and Yuma USD stayed the same. Tucson Unified dropped by 1.7%, Sierra Vista Unified dropped by 11%, and Douglas had a 70% drop in gifted education funding. This is not a category we want to lead in. That's something worth looking at on the rebudgeting. Additionally, school ratings updated this week. Again, to Sarah Marley, awesome job. It is not an easy task to do that. But also, Cass in Douglas is an A. Omega Alpha is an A. Douglas USD is a B. So I would first encourage, if we don't believe those are accurate, please appeal. Please go through the appeal process and let's get the accurate rating. If not, it's not a good look. The sad truth is, by the terms of the state of Arizona, we're a third of 4 in Douglas. I realize there's nuances to these ratings. I realize that they're more complicated than just the letters they give, but that's reality. When Haven Health acquired a 1-star rated money bleeding Douglas Manor, the first thing new ownership did was share a mission statement and core values, which they then built around. Employees understand now that our employment is contingent on our adopting of core values in the mission statement, and the location here in Douglas has been a 5-star Medicare rated facility for a decade now, and it started with vision. One thing I did want to address is that culture always starts here at the top in this room. I would ask rhetorically, do you know the mission statement? Do you know the vision statement? Could you recite them? If you can't recite them as leaders, unfortunately we haven't embraced them, and we all need to consider defining a new mission statement, new core values. Successful organizations have vision aligned from top to bottom, and a truth taught in the Bible holds true. Where there's no vision, the people perish. And without vision, we will always be reactive and not proactive. Now, a message I wanted for parents, get involved. I know this is being recorded, but parents, if you're okay with being 3 of 4, I want to remind you that we're dealing with the education of our children. Do not deny your children your support. The school is there to supplement our parenting, not the other way around. Be present in goings-on at the district and in your school. Any issues that exist requires parent involvement as the solution. Please be involved, parents. Board, I just encourage you to take a look at these things. I think many parents would help. I think they would be out. If we could rally the troops, I think we'd have the people to make this school district the envy of everybody in the state. I believe it can happen. We've seen it happen with organizations. Haven of Douglas is, in terms of nursing homes, an envy of the state. I think this district could be that, but I think there needs to be that unified vision, and I think parents need to be involved as well. So I would just encourage you, however we can involve, let's get people rallied around. I believe we can do this. We could be the best in this state. I don't think that's too far-fetched. And I've gone 30 seconds over, so I apologize, but thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2, consent agenda items. A, approval of the following consent agenda items. Number 1, payroll and expense vouchers, A through C. Mr. Lindeman.
I move to approve the consent agenda items.
Second,
Second.
discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes. Item 3, discussion action on the approval of certified hires. Ms. Samaniego.
You have some after-school tutorial. These are staff members within our district and a few substitute teachers.
Mr. Lindeman.
I move to approve the certified hires.
Second. Second.
By Mr. Smith. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Breen?
Yes. Item B, discussion action on the approval of classified hires. Ms. Samaniego.
We have, you have several ESS instructional aides, and these are some of the vacancies that we had in our growing ESS department. Instructional aide, parent liaison, a campus security officer, and then a substitute security officer.
Mr. Lindeman.
I move to approve the classified hires.
Second.
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Just a quick question. When you said security officers, both those are district-wide. What does that mean?
What it means is that we're hiring them at the district, they're not for a specific school, and then, so if we need to move them from school, there is not that, I belong to Douglas High School or I belong to Rayburn, because they are Douglas Unified School Security. We just place them at different sites.
Roll call.
Mr.
Well,
Smith?
excuse me a minute. Yeah, Mr. Smith, did you have just questions, comments? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you, Ms. Salchow?
Are all of our security officers
Yeah,
labeled as district-wide?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman?
I have a question then. What is the criteria to determine where they are placed?
The need of the school or the vacancy or any personnel matters that are happening. So right now, this person is going to go to the high school, Naomi. But will be trained at various elementaries or middle schools because during some point in her career, she may need to go and support over at one of the sites.
Does that still leave us a little short?
Is that still, I'm sorry?
Leave us a little short?
No, I think we're fully staffed
Oh,
with
good.
the one vacancy that we had.
Okay, good.
Mr. Ramos, you have any questions?
Yes, just a clarification, just to be sure, then, they're all the same
Mm-hmm.
area, but then, do you rotate them?
Sometimes we do, Mr. Ramos, just depending on the need of the site or any personnel issues. But it is also a good, Mr. Augie does try to rotate them occasionally. Like this year, for example, we have a new one over at Huber, at the high school that had been at Huber for many years. And so that change was good for him. So rotation is possible.
You do have a base number for every school, though,
Yes,
right?
oh, no, yes, we do, yes. The high school is the only one with around there 8, I don't have the exact number. And then every other school just has one.
But there would never be an occasion where you're sending somebody district-wide that might leave one of the elementary schools say shorthanded.
No, and what happens is, sometimes, employees are absent. And so we don't have a pool of substitutes, and so you'll see one recommendation here. I think we have one or two? There's two substitute, classified, security officers that are called to replace. So what sometimes has to happen, if there is no substitute, and Mr. Ballesteros determines that I've got to cover, Ray Barain Middle School, for example, for a few hours, he will pull somebody from DHS. Or we'll pull maybe the Huber one and say, you're gonna be, 4 hours at Huber and 4 hours at RBMS. Doesn't happen all the time. Now, if there are absences at Douglas High School, there are more security there to help cover. If there's an absence over at an elementary, there's also that juggling of employees and trying to find coverage for that, or Augie himself will go and help out.
Okay, any further discussion regarding that? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes, item C, discussion action on the approval of classified transfer, Ms. Samaniego.
You have a parent liaison going from Douglas High School, parent liaison position to the DHS secretary position, so there is a increase in pay there.
Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve the classified transfer.
second
Second.
by Ms. Salchow. Any discussion regarding that transfer? You got all the backup information on that individual? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes, item D, discussion action on the approval of increase in hours.
Okay, this is an increase of hours of, for an employee in food service from, for an 1 hour increase.
Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve the increase in hours.
Second.
by Mr. Smith. Discussion?
I just had a question, if I may.
Mhm.
If we increase hours, does that ultimately mean that we are short of personnel?
Yes, so what Mr. Pineda will do, and food service is a very complex, a group of people just because of the jobs that they do. So for example, there's 3 hour employees, there's 3.5 hour employees, there's 4 or 5, and then there's 7. So depending on the need of where he needs the coverage, sometimes instead of hiring another 3 hour employee who just maybe will work an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half at lunch, he will need to increase one of his employees to cover that, and then that way he's not hiring another extra body, but giving more hours to the internal employees, and that's what this is the case
So
there.
that was essentially my question.
Yes,
Then,
to
okay, yeah.
cover areas that are needed.
But it's not necessarily a full-time?
Yes, no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes. Item E, discussion action on the approval of athletic hire, Ms. Samaniego.
Okay, so that is, wrestling assistant coach recommendation, and you have all the background, and his name is Mario Vasquez. He was a former volunteer wrestling coach, and so he is now being recommended for hire.
Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve the athletic hire.
second
Second.
by Ms. Salchow. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes, item F, discussion action on the approval of classified resignations and retirements. Ms. Samaniego.
So there are several positions there and several employees that you see from resignations to a retirement by a campus security officer. One of our most important positions is the transportation and warehouse supervisor. So that's gonna be a vacancy, and we will be looking at that position and see if I need to do any restructuring. We've posted the position, but we possibly need to make some changes in there. So we'll slowly go through that process, and Mr. Soto will be the main point of contact for that department, as he will be supervising that, and Mrs. Cox and I will assist. We did it when the former supervisor left. Between the three of us, we covered that department until we found a candidate.
Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve the resignations and retirements.
second
Second.
by Ms. Salchow. Discussion?
I just wanted to say that concerning the retirements, I wanted to thank them for their
Yes.
service and appreciate them all these years. So, thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes, item G, discussion action on the approval of student observer, Mrs. Samaniego.
This is a Coaches College student, having to make some, educational observations for her classes in education.
Get a motion for discussion?
Move to approve the student observer.
Second.
By Mr. Smith. Any discussion regarding that? Questions? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes. Item H, discussion action on the approval of volunteers, Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, you have 2 volunteers for Douglas High School Sports. Their paperwork was submitted and part of your background.
Mr. Lindemann,
Move to approve the volunteers.
second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes. Item I, discussion action on the approval of donations received for the Douglas Unified School District Number 27, Ms. Samaniego.
We have 2 from Freeport McMorran, $500 going out to Paul Heber Middle School ELA class for Ms. Hema Herman, and donation of DUSD third grade, or dictionaries to DUSD third graders from the Douglas Rotary Club in the amount of $1,440. And so we want to thank the Rotary and Freeport.
Mr. Lindemann,
Move to approve the
Second.
donations.
Second.
by Mr. Smith. Any discussion regarding those donations? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes. Item J, discussion action on the approval of gifts received for Douglas Unified School District Number 27 and designating Superintendent Samaniego to determine the use of the gifts. Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, we have 3 gifts that were sent to individual schools, so we're getting them approved, and then I'll determine where they go.
Okay, great. Mr. Lindemann,
Move to approve the gifts received.
second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes. Item K, discussion action on the approval of the governing board self-evaluation. Entertain a motion for discussion.
Move to approve the governing board self-evaluation.
Second.
Second.
Ms. Salchow, thanks for doing that, board members. And I think it's pretty straightforward. Did you have any questions or any comments regarding that board matter? Roll call. Go ahead, Mr.
I just think that we work really well for the benefit of our students, and so I hope we can continue.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Burry?
Yes.
Mr.
Item L.
Burring, if we may introduce any new hires before
Okay, go
we
ahead.
go on.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I usually get new hires approved. Do we have any new certified or classified hires here today? You can come up to the podium, introduce yourself, and let us know what position and what school. And you can lower the mic.
Hello, my name is Nimsi Castillo, and I'll be security officer for district.
Well, welcome, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Mario Vasquez. I'll be the wrestling coach, assistant.
Mario, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
God, hey, we're getting old. They keep
Don't bring
getting
it
younger.
I'm not.
Did you have anything else you wanted to do in
No.
that regard?
but I don't think
Item L, discussion action on the approval of the superintendent's goals. Ms. Samaniego, and I think it'd be important that you actually publicly make that statement regarding those performance goals.
Uh-huh, yes. So, every year I have to, as part of my, duties, is to provide the board with some goals, that I will work on this year. And so you have the documentation there, but one performance goal is, obviously, we're gonna continue working on our academics. And, I would love to say, I want all of our schools to be A's. For my performance goal, I think we need to, because I don't have the data, letter grades are not posted by the end of May. It's always complicated to say, okay, we did this and we did that. However, we're working together and collaborating with our curriculum department. So goal number 1 is leading and developing and implementing common formative assessments known as ACEs, Check and Enrich. The acronym is ACE. And a structured data analysis process to monitor student growth, inform instruction, and improve academic outcomes across all grade levels. Common formative assessments are used to inform our instruction, and so we had moved away from it after the pandemic, and it's like people just, we kind of gave in, and it's time to get back on the work. And so our common formative assessments they're developed already. We are implementing them in our core content areas. Every teacher is engaged in DUSD data analysis framework, and it's called Working on the Work, working on what matters after each round of ACEs. So there is actually some data discussions being held from teachers. It is putting a little bit more emphasis in the instruction, because whatever data is being collected, our teachers are supposed to look at that data and either reteach, and how do we go from here. School site leaders are responsible for collecting and summarizing assessment data, and we're going to hold our principals accountable for that data collection and those discussions. So all of that will be compiled and be brought forth at the end of the school year and shared. And I also want to share throughout the school year, have our principals come up and share, because I think there needs to be more discussion on curriculum and instruction. So that's performance goal number 1. Goal number 2, going off, and it kind of aligns with what Mr. Blake said. I need more parent involvement and classified and certified involvement. If we're going to get the district moving forward, I need support. We can't do it all by ourselves. And so the performance goal 2 is establishing 3 advisory groups: a certified council, classified council, and a parent council, to increase communication, collaboration, and stakeholder input in district decision-making. Each council will meet at least 3 to 4 times a year, with agendas, minutes, feedback, summaries shared publicly, and at least 70% of participants indicating that our improved communication and trust has between stakeholders and district leadership, as measured through an annual survey. Councils will be formed by October and begin meeting in November, and will be evaluated for effectiveness in June 2026. And so I hope, usually the parent council, we invite PTSOs, but I am going to reach out to certain individual people in our community, Mr. Blake, so that together we can develop some good strategies and look at improving our district. Performance goal number 3 is also, I need some student voice, and I will establish, by June 2026, I will establish and sustain a superintendent student advisory board, and that is to amplify student voice, promote two-way communication between us, students, and incorporate student perspectives into district decision-making. And so the application criterion process was finalized on October. The SSAB will be created by November, and we will meet at least 4 times annually with agendas, documentation, and there will be an end-of-the-year survey. And our student advisory board will come before the board and make recommendations for the following year based on that student advocacy. And goal number 4 is definitely redoing our mission and vision statement. And we started this work last year, and this was one of the goals that I, shared with you, that I didn't quite get there. And so my goal is by June 2026, the superintendent will lead the district in completing and finalizing the development of a unified mission and vision statement, building on last year's work to ensure broad stakeholder input, alignment with district priorities, and clear communication of the district's core purpose and direction. And for that, there will be stakeholder input from parent, council, students, staff, continuing on what we did last year. My plan is to present the final draft to the board by April of 2026 and publish and communicate the new vision and mission across all platforms by June 2026. And those are my 4 performance goals. And I am I don't know, I hope you read my letter, but in addition to my performance goals, I submitted a letter in asking you to consider me waiving the performance pay plan for this year, considering the budget situation and we didn't get any increases. My work is to do the work, and my performance pay is part of my contract, and that is part of our state statute. But I am requesting to waive the performance pay plan, the funds for that, so.
Get a motion on the floor for
I
discussion.
move to approve the superintendent's performance goals.
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Comments, discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir. I actually had a few, and again, I think the board would probably or should do everything we can to help the superintendent achieve her goals and to improve upon them. I would like to make a request, and I don't know which would be more appropriate, either a work study, possibly including some members of the community if we can, or even if it's just brought up as an agenda item, a chance to discuss things that we can do within the district for some possible improvements. One that, it might improve, help the teachers increase their scores and get better grades for the schools, things that we could publicize within the community that might be a draw on enrollment, a number of things like that. So I'm gonna ask that sometime in the future, we either do some type of a work study or add an agenda item where we can go in and have discussion about some possibilities.
I would
And
love that.
Work study,
session.
if we can invite some members of the community to bring up some ideas, and we could all kind of get together and brainstorm, I think that would also be.
I will work on
Ideal.
that. That would be, my recommendation would be a work study session.
Ms. Salchow?
Let's see. In your goals, and you talked about having students involved in some of the decision-making and idea forming. Would you be pulling from elementary, middle school, and high school? all
Yes, we
three
opened it
levels?
up to all grade levels, and students had to apply.
Okay.
And there's an application process, a criteria.
Oh, good.
And so I'm gonna have, I was hoping I'd get more high school seniors to apply, but they didn't. I know Sarib is extremely busy, but I have representation from all three levels.
Okay,
right now.
great.
Did it? Mr. Lindeman?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to have a printed copy of the goals, if I may.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
Next, I was just looking at whatever number one. Tucson schools are getting away from testing. And I would caution all of us to be very careful not to overburden the teachers with any of this administrivia, because let the teachers work. You hire good people, you let them work. That's going to improve the student scores and academics. And so I would caution, it seems to me in my tenure, not only at this district, but I've taught in other districts, that the teachers always end up with the brunt of whatever, improvement plans. And, I would caution against that. You have to let the people do their work, and you have to allow time for that, and you let the kids then, they react, and they will learn, rather than pulled in everywhere. So I would go along with the study session. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rommel?
Yes, and I totally agree that one of the biggest factors is the parents' involvement. And I'm glad to see that you have looked into that. We're gonna go ahead and try to get the parents involved. If we could get, as a board also could get attended, we can go to individual schools, especially the schools that are really in need, where we can attend or have a meeting, a work session with parents there.
Definitely.
You got it, Mr. Rommel? The only comment I'm gonna make is, I know that when you look at those goals and you give them a lot of thought, the important thing is that they be realistic. And in order to be realistic, you need to have the cooperation of all of the administration, everybody under you, right? So, and I think you do it, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Do you involve them in a way, not directly that I'm writing my goals, but do you know in working with staff, especially the principals, what you can realistically do and what you can't do?
Yes, I mean, of course, like goal setting number one, we discussed that at our leadership retreat in the summer. When we looked at our district and what initiatives and what strategies would move the district forward, we worked on that, we agreed upon it, together. So the mission vision, they've been part of that, they will continue to be part of that. And of course, through the council, they were notified about, we're gonna start the parent council and all that. So while I didn't sit with them to say, okay, this is what I'm gonna come up with, they will be very involved, and they've been involved in, the academic component of it and the mission and vision statements, so yes.
Okay. And then the last thing, Mr. Smith and Mr. Lindeman, the idea of a study session is good. When you have a study session, however, we're limited as a board to what can be discussed and what can't be discussed in general. So I would think, and I've seen it in the past, a better way may be, but I'm not saying it's better than what you suggested, would be for the administration to have a public meeting. And that way, people can come in and openly make comments about anything they want. Of course, they would have a structured agenda, but that way, they wouldn't be limited to time and all those kinds of things. It would be an official meeting, but it would be more on, I think it'd be more openness than to sit here officially with the board sitting here having to be consistent with open meeting laws and all those things. So I'm just gonna suggest that. I don't know, I think you'd get more openness if and then, of course, the board members certainly could attend. But it would be, I think, much more appropriate for the administration to have a meeting regarding the district and all the things that are of interest. And that way, it's not restricted to certain items that the board has on the agenda. I don't know if you would agree with that or not.
I can see where the agree is. My thinking is, and this is where the actual request came into, play to begin with. I have a number of ideas that I would like to be able to discuss either among the board members or with people that I think we could make some improvements in the district. One that, at least discuss and see if it might provide teachers more opportunities to be able to teach better, to get the grades up, to bring the grades of the schools up and so forth. Also things that we could, programs that we could expand or create that we could then publicize to the community in general that would draw more enrollment. Some of the things that we need to discuss is, obviously, the district coming out with a B, that's nice. We've had, was it Sarah Marley that increased so well? Outstanding. But we can always improve. And since we do have areas within the city that are getting higher grades, what do we need to do different to match them? So it's things like that that we need to discuss, policy, things that need to be maybe discussed with the administration to, as I was sitting there saying, improve the way the teachers are able to do stuff, maybe give them more incentives to improve their performance. Things like that. So whatever the best format for that is, whether that's something that's brought up at a meeting on the agenda where we can go into extensive detail, or whether it's a work study just among the board. I don't, it sounded to me like there was some problems with having a lot of the community in on a work study. I can see that. But at least something where the board members can come in here and kind of, if nothing else, give the superintendent some ideas that might help her improve her, might help her make her goal performance in there.
That's why the implication was that if you have a study session, it's really restricted to board member conversation. There's really no, if you have a board study session, there's no input from the public unless the board agrees because of the urgency or the topic, or they think that there's an absolute necessity to discuss something. But study sessions are for the board. Now, we could have a study session with the board to do exactly what you said and have but to get public information and to get public input, it's much better to have an administrative meeting. That way they can discuss anything they want and it's open season. But they would have an agenda. So that's just my suggestion.
Okay, is it possible to have, say, a study session with the board where we go over ideas and talk with
Yes,
the
exactly.
superintendent?
But it would just be
and-
board discussion.
And then put on the agenda or something what the results of all that
Right,
was, so that
exactly.
we are advising all the community. I want to be as transparent so that we're saying, look, these are some of the ideas that we came up with, this is what we're wanting to move towards. There's nothing says we can't have meetings with the public and see if they have anything
Exactly.
more. So, at least give us a workplace, someplace to start.
Well, her administrative with the public, where you can get much more input and freedom of speech, so to speak. Then she would put all of that, she would sift through that, then come back to the board, knowing what the board said at their study session. And then it would help her probably in a better environment, put together the things she felt, and then bring it all back to the board. But the public would have better input just having an administrative meeting than having a study session, because we're limited. Okay? All right? If that's all right with you, Mr.
That's
Flannery?
fine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then you do that.
I have another comment, though.
Yeah, go.
We were alluding to the school grades and things like that. I saw reported on the Channel 13 News that, and it specifically said Liberty Traditional in Douglas went from an A to an F. So I don't necessarily think that all the charter schools are doing better than we are.
Yeah, my whole thing is if we have some that are doing better, then let's see what they, we don't want to copy the guys that are getting Fs, definitely. But we sure want to look at whatever the A grade places are getting and see what we can do to try and match or, copy them, so.
And there are different, well, not just demographics, but different rules, basically, in the testing, and the scoring. If you have, in a charter school, if you do not have a certain amount of students per grade, that grade is wiped out. It does not show what they scored. So you might have, let's say, 20 eighth graders and 25 ninth graders and 12 10th graders, then the 10th graders drop and the scores from those other ones move. And one thing that is also really good to look at is you can actually see online how the state rates charter schools. Because I've looked it up and done it before. And in comparison to your public schools, and it's shocking. I mean, because we look at the grade, and a lot of schools will put a nice little banner, we're an A+ school. But then when you see what their ratings are actually, they're much less. I've noticed this in the Phoenix, East Valley area, where my granddaughter's school, her public school is an A school, and then a charter school down the highway is an A school, but if you look it up, like their rating for the charter was in the 70th percentile. That is not an A. So there's a lot of things that you have to kind of look at. There's I'm sorry, and I don't want to get into a political thing, but there's a lot of games that are played from the State Department to make sure that our competition succeeds in many ways. So those are just things to look at.
I want you to elaborate on that. No.
No, not tonight.
Of course, I'm
Not
just
tonight.
kidding. Any afterthoughts, Mr. Lindemer?
No, and I think that what the problem basically is that it's not an apples to apples, comparison. And so we have to take that into consideration.
Mr. Ramos?
Going back, the involvement of the parents being there is, to me, is a big factor. Because they can see what we're trying to do, and they can give us what they expect of us as a district to teach our children how to get them to a higher level. But if we can't get the parents involved, you know, that's number one right there. The parents have to come and be part of this. It's not just left up to the teachers. They have to help at home, and we have to bring a point across to them. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, there's accountability, and I understand what Mr. Lindeman says, and you know, I'm all for letting teachers teach, right? We've heard it over and over, let me teach and let me just do my job. And so, with that, obviously comes a lot of responsibility and a lot of accountability. And so unfortunately for school districts, it's that one test, that one time a year that we're measured on, and forget everything else, right? Every other good thing that happens, and over every other accomplishment that happens within the school year, because it's that one letter grade. And so that's why school districts have to have, you know, some accountability within the year for our teachers and our student learning. And it does go back to the classroom teacher. And then we have these, you know, end of the year formative assessment that says, oh, you are a, you know, B district, or you're an F school. And so taking into consideration all of these things, I think there is great room for improvement, and that's what we strive for. And our teachers feel the weight of accountability and all the things that they have to do. And our principals feel it even more so as well. So I know I feel it. So we will do whatever it takes to continue to improve. And I really appreciate what you said, because I want your collaboration. I want your input. And I think parental involvement can always help shape kids. And we've gotten to a point where parenting is left for the school teacher as well. And so that is almost impossible. We need that support. So we'll set up a meeting, then set up a board study session, and then we'll all come back together and kind of come up with some great things that we can do.
Anything else, members of the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sadi,
Yes.
from your perspective, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, do the CTE programs go into that letter grade consideration?
Yes. Well, it's the CCR, it's all of those components go into play, yes.
Just because I feel like the high school, probably the best thing that we do is the CTE programs. We have 20 CTE programs, a little bit more, a little bit less. But that's something that in a bunch of schools, there aren't as many. It's either more specialized, you can't have that much variety, and we do have probably some of our best teachers there as well too.
Yeah, and so your test at Douglas High School or high schools, it's the ACT test, and that's what measures. But there's other different components. You know, attendance is part of that score. Growth points is part of that point. And for you guys, the CCRI, graduation rate. So there's different components, like Mrs. Salcha said, that make up that letter grade. And for you guys, it's way different from elementary and middle school. And we are doing great things in CTE, so thank you for pointing that out.
Do you guys take into consideration when they're testing, just say, not, of course, there's always gonna be a small segment that couldn't care less, but do the students, by and large, know what's happening about what the effect is and what the school is rated and how it's assessed and those things?
I wouldn't say that a large majority of the students know how much of that test matters, or how much anything like attendance, participation, grades, any of that matters to the school district. And I don't think that many students know how each of us play a part in how good our district does. And Ms. Trinta and I were just talking about this on our way back from Phoenix. We don't know what the cause of that issue is. We really tried figuring something out, but we really can't find out why students are so apathetic to all of these problems.
was simply stated, when principals and staff, before the testing period and all that, they start talking things up and, pep talks and motivational conversations. Do the students realize I may be redundant for asking, but do they know what all of that activity and all of that's about?
I really doubt, and especially because a lot of the colleges aren't requiring those test scores, it's something that's overlooked by a large majority of the students.
Well, Melissa, let me ask you, as the high school principal, and then anybody else wants to chime in, do you feel, and I know you guys do it, you prepare them, you try to motivate them. Do you think that, and based on what Sadeep just said, yeah, come up there because this is important. Do you think that, that they're grasping what's going on?
So to be honest with you, a lot of times the students don't see how it benefits them, if I'm gonna be honest. So yes, we, try to motivate them, hey, you know what, this is what, we get a grade, just like you get grades in class, the school gets a grade on our performance. And a lot of times, and even when I was at the elementary and middle school level, where we did more things to motivate kids, to perform well, a lot of times the students don't see the value to them personally. They don't see it as something that's important because they're part of the school. I don't know if that makes sense. And it's difficult. We have a lot of kids that do take the test serious. I'm going to tell you, last year, based on our ACT test results, we had a lot more students score at the top level. We had one student 1 point away from a perfect score. So the diversity in whether students take this test serious or not, it all depends. And like Zadeep says, if students are college or university bound and see that test is gonna really help them, post high school, then they're gonna take that test more serious. But if they know that it's not gonna impact them, then they're not. So, if you remember years back when we had Ames testing, and it was a graduation requirement for them to pass Ames, and if not, they had to have good grades and good attendance in order for them to meet the formula requirements for graduation. There was a big difference in students performing better. And now that they see that, oh, well, I just have to take it, it doesn't mean anything, there's no value to them. There's no purpose to them.
When these kids walk in their schools and they see the banners, especially the one that says this is an A school, you don't think, if, from your perspective at the high school, that the students universally feel that, say, I couldn't care less if it's an A school or a B school?
It doesn't motivate them at all.
That's interesting.
And the thing is, like, going back to what Zadeep said, and he brought up the fact that we've been very successful when it comes to our career and technical education program and various different, athletics, different activities that we have around the school. When the activity or the club pertains to something of interest to the students, they're gonna give 100%. So it's like finding that motivation, and I know we talk to our teachers all the time, and I talk to my leadership team, we talk to our department chairs, and I'm sure a lot of the other administrators feel the same way. It's finding the motivation, getting these kids motivated. And yes, granted, around our community, there is A schools, but just like Mrs. Salcho says, you gotta really look at those A schools. And unfortunately, public schools are held at a different standard than charter schools. That's point blank across the state. I'm gonna be transparent here. And so we work just as hard, or I'm gonna say we work harder And, you know, for them to be able to cut corners, just for that A label is very disheartening, because you know what? And I appreciate all of you sitting here, because we don't turn kids away. We're here for kids. We do everything we can for kids, no matter their ability. And it's not that way at other schools. And I can just speak on behalf of my school and the district, and I think a lot of the admin feel the
Well, I
same
think
way.
that's, it's very disheartening to know that the students really don't buy into it. Now, that's from her standpoint, but I don't know, maybe some of the other elementary or middle school, but to think that it's so important to the administration and especially the classroom teacher, that school be recognized for the educational environment and the things that are transpiring in there. You'd think that they want to help out on that. Rodney, you have some thoughts about that?
Yes, so I just want to make a comment about our C. Yes, we maintained our C, but we missed a B this year by 1.28. So we were very close to a B. And we're going to celebrate that because we did a lot last year. And by we, I mean the teachers, the students. But again, I totally agree with Melissa. I used to be assistant principal at Ray Burrain. We celebrate, we don't just start talking about ASA in January, February, and Ms. Trinta's here because she used to be the assistant principal. She can attest to this. We start day one. When you come in our school and we have our welcome assembly, we talk about the importance of testing and how it's important not only for you, but it's also important for our school. Let's have pride in our school. Let's stay true to Cougar Blue. Let's have pride in our school. When we, even our sixth graders, we talk about the importance of credits and attendance because it affects when they get to the high school. Because we're not on a credit system, the kids just don't care. When they go into seventh grade and eighth grade, we really start continuing pushing it more because we are now trying to prepare these kids for the high school. And yet, there's nothing to tie them to that accountability. And unfortunately, you have a lot of students that, because the ASA does not have any intrinsic value to them, they don't give it their all. Through the ACE testing, however, what I'm finding is because they are being tested on the standard almost weekly, that is now, I'm comfortable about that and I like it personally, and so do our teachers, because now they're having that intrinsic value because that testing is tied to a grade. And not only is it tied to a grade, they're taking not only that accountability, but knowing that, hey, testing is important for us. We need to know what we can do. And it's not just waiting till benchmark to say, okay, where are you at? It's kind of instilling that testing is important. And my hope is through ACE testing and getting them used to that testing, that once they get to the ASA, they'll have that intrinsic value or that intrinsic appreciation, thinking, okay, I know I can do it because I've seen it through my testing that I've been doing throughout the year. So changing our way we do our testing, I'm hoping will have a positive impact. And as far as our grade, we made growth almost five points, which is huge for someone to make a jump like that, given our demographics, given our students. But like I said, it's that intrinsic value that unfortunately a lot of our students just don't hold with state testing.
And by the way, we're on target on this conversation because it's part of her goals, and she was mentioning the different ratings for the schools. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that. Is there anybody else from the other schools that want to comment regarding that issue? Melissa, did you want to
Mr.
follow
Barain,
up?
if I could just add
Sure.
one more thing. So just like Mrs. Damadrid said, you know, we start the year with our orientation meetings and we go over all, not just our rules for the school, but we also go for our expectations, right? So we talk about testing, we talk about what grade levels are testing and how important it is. But more than anything, it kind of goes to Mrs. Samaniego's other goal, is parent involvement. You know, the same parents are always those same ones that show up. And the ones that we need to show up don't show up. So the kids that are already performing well, are already doing well academically, their parents are the ones that continually come each and every time. And the ones that we need there don't. And I know Mrs. Samaniego mentioned this, it's like, sometimes we feel, I felt that a lot when I was at the elementary school, like a daycare, like a babysitting service. Like, it's somewhere they can send their kids and they know they're safe, and it's like, they need to remember, and I know Mr. Ramos mentioned this, is like, learning starts at home. The support needs to come from home. The guidance needs to come from home. And we are open to any ideas that we can do to increase our parent engagement, because as kids get older, the parent engagement gets less and less. And so hopefully you guys can bring us some ideas, because we would really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
And thank, Radna, thank you. And Sarib, you stimulated that conversation, so do you have any closing remarks regarding that?
Yes, I'd like to say two things. So I've met quite a few people throughout Arizona, southwest, southeastern Arizona, central Tucson, central Phoenix. And a lot of the people that are in those A-rated schools have less school pride for that school than people here in Douglas. It's very sad to see how they're complaining about the fact that they're not learning so much as they are preparing for these types of state tests. I've met people throughout the U.S. through certain programs, and they're having nearly all perfect scores in their SATs, ACTs. They have all these types of programs, yet they're always complaining about this. So I don't think that it's anything that our teachers, our educators, our administration is doing. I think it's more so on our generation, and I feel like we're doing the best we can. Ms. Rodriguez always makes sure, like at the beginning of the school year, to go over the expectations for graduation, the attendance, credits, scores, and then while we're testing, we're still doing all of that. We go over how important it is. However, a lot of this apathy isn't coming from our school district. It's something external that's affecting us here. I don't know how we could fix this, but it's not something that's on our educators.
Interesting. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, unless board members, any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
I did want to say a little bit more too. I also want to kind of caution the board not to get too much in the weeds on the actual grade of the school. I think there's a whole lot of interconnectiveness that sometimes we're not seeing. Example is, if we come up with methods to help the teachers improve their instructional performance, if they do that, the students learn better. Their scores will improve. The school scores will improve. The parents could very easily see improvements in the school, and you might get more involvement in the board in their meetings. You might increase enrollment, because if now we're sitting there saying, hey, our guys are learning better, they're coming up with better scores, that's something you publicize to get people to enroll in hours over a charter school or homeschooling. So there's an interconnectedness in all that we need to focus on and make sure that we're moving towards basically all of those aspects at the same time.
Thank you. Ms. Sanchez, do you have any?
I just want to ask Ms. Samaniego, with school labels, is EL reclassification still part? Okay. So
EL,
if you have an
attendance.
English language
Yes,
program, mandatory program,
Yep.
then that does affect. So if a school, school R,
Yeah, there's many different factors, including the growth, between comparison of our ESS and our ELL students compared to our general population. That comes into play. There's different factors from, are you a FACE student? Did you
Right.
start attending from, day one? So there's different components, but I am a firm believer that there is more to just our school district
Oh,
than
yeah.
one letter grade.
I agree.
And I will commend and I will vouch for my administrative team and my teachers, because they are working harder than ever. I see it, I feel it, and I know it's a huge responsibility, to sit here and tell you we're a B. I want to be an A. but I know that we are an A in so many other aspects of our schooling, and I'm proud, you know, of the work we do. I've been in their shoes, I've been a teacher, I've been a principal assistant, and I know I still feel that same responsibility. And I appreciate your input because we know it. We know, because we work with you guys, we see it, and there's a different dynamics, but is there room for growth and improving? Absolutely, and I'm willing to be, I'm on board with whatever recommendations. There's a lot of ideas I have that require funding, to tell you the truth. I visit with other leaders, I see what they're doing. I'll give you an example. The graduate of a portrait is one big thing that school districts are doing. And so what they're taking is, what does a DUSD graduate portrait look like, and what are the requirements, and what are the things that we're gonna do from the moment that a preschooler gets to us to the time that they're a graduate? Well, you've gotta hire a company to help you do that, and marketing and working on the different aspects of a graduate, a portrait graduate. So there's just different things that are out there that, you know, that do require some investment on our part. So we'll work on these next steps and then come up with some solutions.
Mr. Lindeman, any
Nothing further.
thoughts? How about you, Mr. Ramos?
No.
The motion on the floor is to approve the goals. That was a healthy discussion. I think it was a good discussion. Pardon?
Is waiving the performance
No,
pay?
that's what I'm
okay.
getting to.
Okay.
The motion on the floor is just to approve the goals. The omission of the language that she receives by statute, had she wanted it, the performance pay is being waived. So the motion is without that, so automatically she won't get that pay. I would just want to make that clear for the record, right? All right. And of course, she had requested it by letter to the board. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes,
Mr. Breen?
Yes. Item M, discussion action on the approval of the renewal agreement for internship, externship, educational experience between Douglas Unified School District number 27 and Chiricahua Clinic, Ms. Amaniego.
This is a 3-year renewal, and this allows our Douglas High School students to do internship at Chiricahua Clinic through their CTE courses. So we've done this before. It's just time for renewing it.
Okay, and you've got all the backup on the student and so on. Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve.
second
Second.
by Mr. Smith. Further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Breen?
Yes, item N. Discussion action on the approval of the renewal intergovernmental agreement between pathways in teaching between Douglas Unified School District number 27 and the Arizona Board of Regents, University of Arizona, Ms. Amaniego.
This is a 2-year renewal agreement, and this is part of our Grow Your Own Teaching Program partnership with University of Arizona. We've been very successful in our teacher pathway program. So this is just a continuance of that agreement.
Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve.
second
Second.
by Ms. Salchow. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Breen?
Yes, item O, discussion action to temporarily suspend policy BGB requiring 2 readings of the proposed policies prior to approval of the adoption in order to approve the following policy and policy advisory immediately upon first reading. Mr. Lindeman,
Move to approve.
is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Samaniego?
None, you have the 2 policies there on the naming, and then there's one, the ASBA policy advisory on bidding. We had included in the background, nothing much of a change there.
Members of the board, any questions or comments regarding that? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes,
Mr. Breen?
Yes, item 4, executive session. The governing board may vote to convene into executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03, subsection A, number 1, for the following personnel matter. A, discussion, consideration, and possible approval of statement of charges and dismissal of certified employee, CL. Entertain a motion.
I move to enter into executive session.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Can't beat them.
Roll call?
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes,
Mr. Murray?
Yes. We're gonna stay in here?
yes.
We're not gonna consult with the attorney? Okay. Okay, we're gonna adjourn the executive session, and we're back in open session. And we're on item 5A, discussion action to take the following. A, adopt the statement of charges against certified counselor CL, that if true, are cause for dismissal, and that the charges be made as part of the minutes of this meeting. B, that the governing board dismiss certified counselor CL from employment with the district at the expiration of 10 days from the date of service of notice of this board's action based upon charges for dismissal, unless the hearing is requested by the counselor. C, that CL not be reemployed by the school district for the reasons set forth in the statement of charges. And D, that the superintendent be authorized to provide notice of these charges and the board's action to CL and to the State Board of Education. E, that if CL requests a hearing, that the board designate a hearing officer to hold a dismissal hearing, hearing the evidence, prepare a record, and issue a recommendation to the governing board for action. The hearing officer may be one selected by mutual agreement of the administration and the counselor. If mutual agreement is not reached, the board designates Clyde Dangerfield, C. Ben Hufford, or Harold Murkow as the hearing officer, depending upon their respective availability. I'll entertain a motion to do that.
I move to approve the statement of charges.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ramos. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burry?
Yes. Item 6, announcements, Ms. Samaniego.
We have Veterans Day coming up on November 11th, so just a reminder, no school and all district offices will be closed. Thanksgiving break is coming right around the corner, November 24th through the 28th. District offices will be closed that Thursday and Friday, November 27th and 28th. And our next regular board meeting will be December 2nd. And we will have food for you, Alma, to celebrate the holiday season.
All right. Mr. Ramos.
Yes, Cesar.
Entertain a motion to
I
adjourn.
move to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Thank you, Pedro.